Greetings, I'm East Coast Canadian, and I am going to show you how to can tomatoes. If you have some tomatoes from your garden and you don't want them to go to waste, you want to preserve them and can them, we're going to stew some tonight and show you how to do that. If you do it right, then I guarantee you will have the best bowl of elbow macaroni in tomatoes ever. Alright, you went to the garden, you got your tomatoes. You got some nice red ripe tomatoes, and you got so many you don't know what to do with them. So we're gonna can them. What do you need? You're gonna need some mason jars. They got 500 milliliter, 750 milliliter, 1 quart, doesn't matter. You just need to fill those jars. And what do you gotta do? First of all, you gotta boil the jars to sterilize them. You need to boil the lids to sterilize the lids and the covers. And once you sterilize the lids and the covers, you keep them in the pot, keep them hot. You take the jars out and you set them on the counter. We got some tomatoes from the garden. We're gonna pick the stems off and wash them. All kinds of different tomatoes. This is Amish tomato. This is a patio tomato. So what we're going to do is we're going to blanch the tomatoes. We're going to put them into a boiling pot of hot water, and it might take a few minutes. It might take a little bit extra it's different for every tomato, but eventually after a few minutes you're going to notice that it splits. The skin's going to start splitting, and once you see the split on the tomato from it boiling, you take it and you put it in an ice water bath. Let it sit for a couple of minutes, not too long, then you cut it up. You don't want any skin or any stems or any hard pieces in your jar of stewed tomatoes. So cut that all out. You want the juice, the seeds, all the soft stuff. You're going to take all the pieces that you cut out for your stewed tomatoes and put them in a bowl. Keep taking it out of the ice bath as much as you can. It's going to be juicy. Just throw out that skin. Now once you have all of your tomato juice, oh, that looks so delicious. You're gonna take a funnel and put it into a jar. After you get your tomatoes in the jar using a funnel, I'm going to move the funnel over here. You're going to take something and poke all the air holes, the air bubbles out of the jar. Next, what you're going to do, if you have a 500 milliliter container, you're going to put 1 tablespoon of pure lemon juice into the jar. That's half a tablespoon. This is going to make this taste awesome. So 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And then half a teaspoon of salt. Now that's what's recommended, half a teaspoon. But I like putting a whole teaspoon. After you get in there, I poke for air bubbles again because you never know. Then what you got to do is you have to wipe the top of the jar to get any bacteria that could possibly grow on it. Because if you don't do this right, you could get botulism, and that could kill you. And you don't want botulism. So after that, we're going to go into our pot of boiling lids. Take the top, put the top on. Okay, you're going to take this, screw it on finger tight. Don't go crazy. Now, we're ready to put this jar of tomatoes in the canning pot. What you need to do next is make sure that you submerge the mason jar of tomatoes into the canning pot and leave 2 inches of boiling water above the top. And if it's a 500 milliliter jar, you leave it there for 30 minutes. If it's 750 milliliters, you leave it for 35 minutes. And if it's a quart, you leave it there for 40 minutes. After boiling it for 40 minutes, you remove it from the pot and set it on the counter. And in a few hours, you should hear a little pop or a tink. That ensures that it is preserved and sealed and safe for storing for at least a few years. If you do not hear a pop and you don't see that the top of the lid is flush, because it sticks out before you do anything, it should pop and just go flush with the jar, like completely flush. If it doesn't do that, then boil it again, because you don't want to eat something that's not safe. And stay tuned for next time, because we're going to learn what to do with the green tomato. We're going to make chow chow.